Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. Sunday, May 12th. Let's take a look at the week that was and maybe look ahead. So we had a pretty wild week last week and we finished on I would say, a relatively positive note on Friday, even though the news flow was not good about the trade and the tariffs and all the rest of that stuff. So let's just take a look at how the week unfolded. To start, kind of see here, we're still kind of hovering in this bullish camp. Still, stocks above their 200-day 50 moving averages. Um, New highs, new lows, kind of fading to the downside here. Advanced decline, still good. So yeah, it's kind of flattening out a little bit, and it's kind of what I expected. I was thinking that the markets were going to start chopping regardless, and the news flow has created this volatility as well. So let's take a look at what sectors are doing well. Conglomerates seem to be popping up here 1 week. 1 month performance seemed to be doing well. Utilities are kind of back. You can see utilities had a big day on Friday, but utilities, safety trades are kind of back on. Healthcare did better than most. Technology fading off a little bit here. 1 week, 1 month, still a good performer on the 3 months, but yeah, so seems to be shifting again back to some safety trade stuff. Let's take a look at the indexes and start out with looking at the 10-year Treasury. US, just to see where that is. Almost looks like, to me, this almost looks like it's going to start to break down from this 240, 2.45 level. Maybe interest rates are going to start to head lower. And, that could be, again, an impetus for the market to continue to go higher. Although we may be into this sort of choppy session right now. You can see here MACD's sort of heading down, RSI's below 50. And yeah, so interest rates don't look like they're heading up anytime soon. Dow Industrials, daily, you can see we really bounced right off this 200-day. Let's take a look at the weekly, since we're looking at the week that was. And you can see here again, we just came back down, tested the 50 moving average on the weekly, and then bounced back up higher, although we did finish down on the week. But you kind of see here we had this level, we got right up to it, and we rejected it. So I think this is going to be a significant level of resistance right here, just like it was here and here. And I think we're kind of stuck trading in a range here. And of course, we still got the trade talks hanging over our heads. We've got some other geopolitical risks like Iran right now that seems to be kind of heating up. Korea's firing missiles. So I think we're going to be stuck in maybe a bit of a range here. Interest rates low, keeping the market up. We might even see Powell start talking about easing, lowering rates. Hard to say. And let's just take a look at, skip over the daily. Let's look at the weekly on the small caps, IWM. Again, you can kind of see here we're kind of stuck in a range here. We're down on the week, and we did it on volume. And again, you can see here we held this level of this was a prior level of resistance, and right in this area, and it kind of came back to that area and then bounced off it. So again, I think it's going to be a choppy week next week. We'll see what Monday looks like. Let's just skip to the weekly on the Qs. Again, you see here we had a breakout, a failed breakout, pulled back, and came back up. A pretty good rebound on the week, but overall not overall. Then the weekly doesn't look as promising. Let's just say that. So we did that on volume as well on the week. So some institutional moves as well there. And on the SPY, the SPX, the 500, the large cap, same story. Broke out to a new high, and then last week failed on the mostly on the trade talk stuff. And you can see here, not significant volume on the SPY, different from previous weeks. So, but RSI rolling over there. MACD looks like it's rolling over. So I think again this is going to be a significant level of resistance for the market to go higher. I don't really see it going significantly lower unless we have some really crazy stuff happen. Dollar doesn't look very strong here. It looks like it might, it's definitely forming a triangle here, an ascending triangle. So we'll be watching that to see if it breaks down, loses this level, because this is a level of support right here on this index. And if we start to fade lower, we could come down to the 50-day, and then that has obviously implications for stuff like trades like commodities. Weak dollar commodities tend to get stronger. Emerging markets may get a little stronger too. So let's just see here on the VIX. The VIX actually was kind of interesting. This is the daily. You can see even here it really pulled back, which is interesting because the markets obviously finished down in the week, but the VIX also came back down, the measure of volatility. So I suspect, again, I think this kind of indicates to me that we're going to be chopping in a range. Volatility is not going to be there, and we're going to pull back here, probably back to this level at some point or maybe next week. And I think we're just, again, I think we're going to be stuck in a bit of a range here. Volatility really spiked last week and then just came right back down. So interesting action on the volatility. So let's just take a look at actives and what we've got on watch here. BABA, there's a bunch of reports. We're pretty much through earnings season, but we still do have some reporting coming up, some earnings calls. BABA is one of them. You can kind of see here it really took it on the chin with the China, the trade talks. But you see it kind of came back. It made a nice move back. But there is earnings this week, so something to keep an eye on. Looks like 175 area is an area of support. If it loses that, could be, back down another $10 to back down to this level here. Or if it comes out with a good earnings report, yeah, could be back up off to the races. I've been watching Dust and Nugget. I always like to trade that one ETF back and forth. Gold is, with all this volatility, has really not been trading great. Price action, you would have thought with all the volatility, the uncertainty, gold would be moving higher. But the miners, this is the Dust and the Nugget miners, they just haven't been performing well, and neither has the underlying asset gold. So Dust looks like it actually wants to break out here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that this week. Again, emerging markets may close this gap here if we continue to get the weakness in the US dollar. KWEB, I was watching that one. It looked like it was going to break out, but then we had the China issue, and then it really leaked off here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be too keen on getting into that trade. Again, we had a significant pullback on the semiconductors, and now it seems to be finding a level here. And we'll see how the week goes next week. But again, I don't see any big moves one way or another next week, unless we do have some pretty big news in one way or another. So the small caps. This is the TNA, which is an ETF for the small caps. Again, just looking here, we had two reversal doji candles, and this may head higher next week. Maybe come back up, test this 60, 68 level, and we'll be watching for some strength in that. Again, Monday, I think we're actually going to do the usual dance. We're going to open up a bit, maybe flat. We'll see, and then I'm going to be watching for a pullback to get involved, because I think at this point, I guess unless we get some news, like I said, we're going to have these pullbacks, and then people are going to come in and buy opportunity, and then the market will come back. So this is kind of intraday thinking how things are going to go, because Friday I was saying in the day trading room, I said we played one bounce off a bottom, and then it just did come back at the end of the day. So I think that's the kind of price action we're going to be stuck in for a while here. It's hard to say what's going on with UGAS or UNG, the natural gas. It does look like it wants to break out here. We'll be watching that on Monday. This is a prior level here. And if it can get above 23, I think we could be good to 24, and maybe even 25 if it can get through this 23 level on early in the week. So we'll be watching that one. And Crude, you can see here, crude's just sort of found a level and going to watch that. Looks like it's holding along here, this 50-day moving average. Not great, nothing much to write home about. Volume looks like it's dropping off. So we may be stuck in this range, but we'll watch that to see if it starts to move higher as well. And that's about it. Oh, I think I was looking at one other stock here, Labu, which was another ETF like to play. It looks like it's holding a level here, and it may pull back on Monday, and I may look to get involved around 45. If I can get in around 45 here, keep a relatively tight stop on it, and then see if we can move back up through here again, through the 47 and then back to 50. So played that a few times really well, and I'll be looking to see if we can get back into that. The other one that you could play is the healthcare. This isn't quite as volatile, but again, the healthcare really came back on Friday. The XLV did it on volume, and yeah, it looks like you could get involved here around 88, and so I'll kind of be watching that as well. So, all right, well, that's it. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. This is my book, How to Swing Trade, on Amazon. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up yet or take a look at it, here it is. This is on Amazon.ca. This is a Canadian version. The US is cheaper. Just realized that now. So, hope everyone's had a great weekend, and we'll see everybody in the Bear Bull trading room that joins us on Monday morning, bright and early. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody. Ciao for now.